drugs. This created a kind of cultural revolution or a cultural crisis, if you are.
Challenge for the artist as he constructs the cultural technologies of the 21st century.
And a hospital ward, like a good soccer team or a good university, also knows no cultural boundaries.
I drink tea in England. I'm a cultural chameleon. When I'm in the Czech Republic, it's a good Pilsner.
Is a pot-bellied, speedo-clad Hungarian. It's a cultural experience, and it's sightseeing, and it's relaxation.
Cultural cliches on stage with a company that didn't make a fair profit off you in the start, and they're going to work very.
Is it a cultural thing? Is it just because it's flat? And so on. You know, lots of reasons.
Because there's 4 different cultural groups, a place that is one. Share with your friends this and that. That's what it is. It's cultural show and tell. So the French are into sophisticated. Because in Turkey, it's just a cultural scavenger hunt. Eastern Turkey especially. Doing a tour through East
is really part of changing cultural attitudes. This is a chart.
Using technical solutions, cultural solutions to become one of the most sustainable places on Earth.
And what stands in the way?
Could reference varied cultural meanings, while full or partial
do enrichment programs and leadership and cultural programs, and they're in the garden. And
what do you think has caused that cultural shift? Is it
also looking at cultural heritage institutions in particular, and some of the
all of a sudden became the accidental activists, the cultural ambassadors of 14.
You know, it's a part of our cultural responsibility, but it's also, we're carrying.
Part of the cultural argument that I make in terms of interpreting
depends hugely on cultural norms.
Yeah.
Great variation.
Of course, under Mao, during the Cultural Revolution, literally these texts were burned.
Passions, hobbies, cultural backgrounds, things that we've experienced.
The book will be in the cultural pages and the book review pages, so I actually had to leave Mexico.
Share so many cultural ties. He speaks to the nations of South America, promising a new alliance to work together.
Beauty and unbelievable cultural resources, but more than anything else.
In a LinkedIn building. And I walk in, what are the culture components? What am I going to feel out of the...
Legacies of the Cultural Revolution that is often forgotten is that
you wrote, fast starts are never as important as a cultural hook, consistently showing up and committing to.
Colleagues also found that cultural stereotypes about computer science has strongly influenced young.
It's a food addiction thing. It's a, there are complex cultural factors. Whereas you have somebody who's walking around.
And that's the cultural and economic climate in which we're operating right now.
So I came when I was 16 under a cultural exchange program as a cultural exchange student.
Places that are, obscure, and meet artisans and do hands-on cultural activities. And this is a very popular
Of cultural conditioning that is unconscious. We don't even pay attention to the
families and religious and cultural institutions and mediating institutions and local enterprises. Are we trying to re-empower them? Across government to break down barriers, cultural barriers, in terms of how we...
We'll get more cultural